Okay, so what I wanted to show you here is basically, this is a tent that I want to take camping with us. This is my new tent. It goes up super fast, super easy, and the main thing is it has a center height of 78 inches, which is 6 foot 6 inches. So when you're inside the tent, you can completely stand up. Now, you're not 6'1" like I am, but still, I can stand up completely in there. And the other thing again is that it sets up very, very quickly and easily. If you notice in this picture here, right where the guy is working squatted down, that is a door. The doors are in the corner on this tent. And if you look at the tent in other pictures here, let me see if I can show you. So anyway, this is the door area. So you enter this tent from the edge or corner. And notice how the sides are actually bulged out instead of tapering in. If you look at my other tent, which is a dome tent, we look at it, the walls slope in on all sides. So a dome tent, your walls slope inward. So the higher up you are, the less room you have. But in this other tent, the walls actually bulge outward. So that gives you, more room the higher up you go, up to the middle of this, which would be about 3 foot high. So anyway, this is just the style tent we're talking about. Let's see. Again, the door you'd enter in, and I'll show you in just a minute what I mean by this right here. You enter in through the corner of this. That's really an important thing. It's kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing in this case. But this tent is 94 inches corner to corner, front to back. So it's 94 inches square in the bottom, and it's 78 inches tall inside, on the inside at the center. And it goes into a big carrying bag, and the rain fly is super easy to put on. It's super easy set up. By comparison, the other tent that we're talking about, which is perfectly fine, this tent is 10 foot or 120 inches side to side and front to back. So it's 10 by 10 square, and it's 72 inches tall. So I can almost stand up there. And the good thing about it is it's got a big D-shaped door right in the middle of the front. So when you've got your cot on one side, cot on the other side, you can open it and go straight up the middle. So as a second choice, we could use this tent. However, this tent takes quite a bit longer to set up, especially the rain fly on it, which covers it up. That takes 2 people just about to set it up, and it takes a little longer setup. I'm not saying super longer or super hard at all. It's just more time consuming. But once you have it set up, it's a really good tent. No problem with it at all. So to give you an idea of how tight these cots could fit into this tent that I want to take with us, I've drawn up just a little 3D sketch here. And this is representing kind of the door opening that you would go through on the corner of that cot, or the corner of that tent. And really the walls aren't this thick. But anyway, it gives you just a general idea of how wide we're talking about. But you would enter through the corner, and you would have, from the end of that cot over to this wall, you'd have 19 inches of walking space. And by the same token, in between the smaller cot and my larger cot, you would have 19 inches of space. I think that's going to be the maximum amount you'd have if everything works out. Again, as soon as I get this cot in, I'll have to try putting both cots in there and seeing if there's enough room to walk around. I never originally planned on having really this be a 2-person tent, but it might work out for us. It's considered a 4-person tent, but 4-person is a max, and that's really with laying bodies side by side in the floor, and it's usually an overestimate. But anyway, I'd like to use that tent, and if we do use it, the cot, your cot, This is representing about a 4-inch mattress or something on the top of it. Same thing over on this big cot of mine. But this here would be 17 inches off the ground. It would get you at least 17 inches up off the ground. Mine gets you up 19 inches. But my only concern is getting in and out of this corner and stepping into this area safely, and then this area in between here. And of course, whenever you use tents, you don't want to have stuff poking up against the walls. So it's really like, how freely are we going to be able to move in this tent as opposed to the other tent? Now, if we did the other tent, it could be quite a bit more freedom in moving around. Again, the other tent just takes longer to set up and it's a little harder to set up, but it's not, anything terrible at all. But this is my first choice to take this tent because it sets up so easy and comes down easy and quick. And I'd like to take this tent. It's never been used before. But if I find this is just too tight and it isn't going to work, we'll definitely switch to the other tent and use the dome tent, especially since there's going to be 2 of us there to set it up. Of course, as we look in here, you can see if we were in the other tent and it's got a door right in the middle, you'd be opening it up and coming straight into the middle. And to put it into perspective, just floor-wise, let's see if I took this sketch here, edit that sketch. Okay, there that is. Now, change it here. All right, that's got that and that done. And so now when I finish sketching this, you can see the difference in how far apart these would be in the other tent. Potentially. Now this is over exaggerated because the walls on the dome tent do not tilt outward, they tilt inward. So this cot and this cot would be scooted over toward the center a little and down this way. But it may be the best choice because again, they have the big door coming in and you can almost stand up in it. You could fully stand up in it, and I could almost stand up totally in it. So we may end up taking that big dome tent. Don't know yet. We'll see. Well, once I actually test it out, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thought you might want to see this.